Blog Talk Radio.
Okay, Sports City. Well, happy Wednesday to everybody out there, or hump day, or better yet, in my terms, I'm going to say it on behalf of me, since we are at the grill here at the Cookout. Welcome. We are at pre-Thanksgiving Day, so I'm happy as hell. Can't wait to get in front of a lot of these dishes around the family as best as possible. Please, everybody out there, stay safe before I even try to throw that out there in the atmosphere. I hope we all are safe and remain healthy. That's the way I'm feeling right now. Calling in my co-host for the evening, or at least one of them, sitting in front of this grill with the fire flaming in front of them, a.k.a. the villain, Barry Jordan. Welcome to the Cookout. How are you feeling this evening?
Oh, man, happy free Thanksgiving. Hope everybody is safe out there, and you know, we want to be around our family and loved ones, so we got to do what we got to do for 1 year. But I'm doing good, man. Villain is in the house watching my Yukon Huskies back in the Big East, in the home they're supposed to be, out of the 7-year exile in the AAC, back in the Big East where we belong. How you doing, TP?
I'm doing all right. I took off this blazer, loosened up the tie, stepped outside the kitchen. Tymeless is alive. I'm feeling a certain way as these Yukon Huskies are sweating Central Connecticut. This is very funny because Donyell Marshall is back to the scene of the crime, so you keep on sweating.
Love Donyell.
Yeah, you ain't loving him right now because he's making them Huskies earn it. He's making them earn it. So you keep it up. You keep loving them. If they win that game, you ain't gonna be loving them. Not today. You better go ahead. Okay. And calling in by way of the state of Colorado, we have Eric Gross in the building. Eric, welcome to the Cookout. How are you feeling this evening?
Hey, I'm feeling well out there tonight, Sports City. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody. And just like everybody has said, everybody have a safe Thanksgiving. And we're here tonight, pre-Thanksgiving, starting up the cooking early.
Okay, so Sports City, before I get this underway, I do want a moment of silence as we kick this thing off. As the Dallas Cowboys strength coach, Marcus Paul, has passed away at the age of 54.
Yep.
Due to complications, and I don't know specifically because they said it was not COVID-19 related. I do want to give him his respect right now and give him his moment of silence. So rest in peace, moment of silence to Marcus Paul. Okay, Sports City, so I'm going to do the best that I can that we can get into this show because there's a lot of stuff going on in the sport world, but the crazy part about a lot of the stuff that's going on in the sport world is being stopped by what we're in front of right now dealing with this pandemic. And a lot of the noise that's around it is that games are being postponed and canceled all across the board, whether sports of college nature or professional nature, but they still are getting some of these sports out. We got a lot to jump into, at least to get in here in the kitchen. And, oh, yes, we have dessert for you. So you just stay tuned for what we got going on for dessert. First thing first, like I was going to get to with the COVID situation that I addressed right now, the Baltimore Ravens and the Pittsburgh Steelers game, which would have been the nightcapper for tomorrow, has actually been canceled / postponed until Sunday. So they're moving that night game until Sunday. I want to know how you guys feel about this situation, let alone this is a repeat situation happening to the Baltimore Ravens. Case after case is happening within this organization and them closing down Baltimore's facilities and them going up against the undefeated Pittsburgh Steelers, and knowing that this is in one of the black and blue divisions and knowing that this is a rivalry like one of the best in the NFL, does this, A, hamper the situation that players are going to be missed? B, if they do play them being exposed to a team like the Steelers that's trying to run the table and remain undefeated, does this take away from them if they end up losing players? I want to hear how you guys feel about this situation because this is very important, especially with two teams, one team continuing on the incline and one going in the opposite direction at the top of the league and questionably falling. Barry, I'll come to you first. Your thoughts on the situation or status of the Ravens-Steelers game?
It's unfortunate, that the Steelers, I guess they've been complaining a little bit. There's been some tweets going out there, Juju Smith and company, about them having their game moved. This is the second time they've had a game moved because of COVID, but it wasn't their fault. Reminds me of that old song, "Ain't my fault that I do that." I mean,
Right.
Listen, it could be a lot worse. I mean, we could be talking about somebody, possibly losing their life. A lot of people are going through worse right now with COVID. So I think it was a little insensitive of them to kind of go out there and have a tweet storm and complaining. It's unfortunate that they wouldn't be around their family, that they still have to sit in the hotel room, have their food sent up to them, and, have Thanksgiving in their hotel room in quarantine. But, hey, guess what? That's basically what would have happened if the game was on anyway. So I don't understand. But, I mean, in general, listen, this could have been a game that the Steelers could trip up, but I don't think so. The Ravens aren't playing really good football right now. And they're missing some key guys on defense. I thought that the Steelers would have probably been able to score some points on them and have their way. I mean, Juju is not 100%, and people know that. But, I mean, they still have the guys on the outside, Claypool and company, James, that, could have, probably put some points on the board. Ben, quietly being an MVP candidate, it would have been it definitely would have been a must win for the Ravens today. Now they have a couple of days to sit on it and think about it. They had a bad loss against Tennessee, and they could possibly not make the playoffs this year if they keep down this path of them not playing good football. So I think it's a key game. I think it's a black and blue game. It's always close. So we'll see what happens on Sunday when the game's finally played.
Eric, the same question to you. Your thoughts on what Barry just mentioned and also the status of – and it's interesting Barry cooked that up. And I want to add off of that too. Barry saying Big Benjamin, that's right, I love Ben. I ain't going to lie. Even though he's a Steeler and he's on a serious team, Ben is considered an MVP candidate. I agree. Even though I'm a biased fan of his, I agree he should be in the discussion, but they will overlook it probably for the names like Mahomes or Russell Wilson, even though Russell's been falling or declining. Just looking at the names that are up there, I want to build off of that. But your thoughts also, Eric, on the status of the Ravens-Steelers game not being played tomorrow evening.
Well, as a sports fan, and I mean no disrespect of, saying this, because, granted, there's people getting sick, but I feel I can speak for many Americans that are sports fans. It kind of sucks. You know what I mean? We got to do what we got to do, though. I just can't wait till this whole thing levels out and goes back to normal because, fans being there is a big part of the game. But, best wishes to everybody that's sick out there or had loved ones that were sick. I mean no disrespect by that. It's just as a selfish statement as a sports fan, but I think it's going to work into the Ravens' favor. They were going in on a short week. Both teams played last week, so I think it's going to be better for the teams to play on Sunday. So we'll get a better matchup, more evenly matchup. So, we still got the Lions and Texans and the Washington football team against the Cowboys. So I'm looking forward to those games. So that's how I feel about it, Ty.
Okay, Barry, do you want to build off of that situation of like MVP candidates, Ben, Mahomes? I mean, who else would you like to throw in there? Is it something that we could throw out there and say, like, I don't even want to say Tannehill because Tannehill's actually been doing good, but the Titans are up and down, but they're winning games, and he's making me eat a whole bunch of crow. Phillip Rivers going to Indianapolis. Is he considered Allen in Buffalo with the Bills? I mean, we know a ton of people out here that are Buffalo Bills fans that want me to throw that name out there if he could be considered. Your thoughts, Barry, how you feel on at least this MVP candidate situation?
I mean, listen, I threw out Ben, and you got if it's a quarterback lead, then the guy that's the lead quarterback on the team with the best record has to be considered, right? So, and he's having a pretty good year, comeback year. He's at least, easily a comeback player of the year. That's without question. So, MVP, yeah, I got to put him up there. I mean, there's a lot of players that are playing well. I'd have to take Tannehill off the grill for that one. I don't see him as an MVP candidate at all, not just because He's just not the sexy pick just because, the last few games outside of the Raven game, he hasn't been playing good football. They want to basically run the ball, control the game, and make the easy passes. He hasn't been making the easy passes, and he's had a lot of turnovers. So I would take him out. I mean, Mahomes is Mahomes. Aaron Rodgers kind of tapered a little bit, but, I mean, still having a pretty solid year. I'd have to put him there. As Stephen A. Smith says, he's a bad man. And to your point, Wilson is tapered off a little bit off of his hot start the first 5-6 games that he had. So, I would have to put Josh Allen in that talk as well. He's having a very good year. Not quietly, I think people are seeing it, but, I mean, he's not usually like the first pick off the top of your head. But those are the guys right now I would definitely have to say are having an MVP caliber season. And that you'd have to consider. But Ben is definitely in that mix and definitely deserves to be in that conversation.
What about Danny Dimes? Danny Dimes is doing a damn good job.
Come on, don't do it. Why are we doing that? See, that's just not nice. That's not nice.
Time out. Yo, they're tied in the division. In the NFC East, the Giants are tied in the division. They can actually put themselves in first place.
That's fake news.
Oh,
that's fake news. I mean, if you're in first place in that division, you definitely need to be somewhere else. You need to be in like the Big Ten or something like that. Come on. I mean, listen. If you really think if there's any MVP candidate in the NFC East, it has to be the whoever plays against them. It's not anybody on those teams. Come on. I mean, the refs that ref those games are more the MVPs because they actually have to sit there through the whole game. At least everybody else can turn the game off. They actually have to sit there and watch that shit. So, I mean, they're the MVPs in my mind. But come on, let's go.
No, Kyler Murray, no DeAndre Hopkins. Nobody's giving these guys any consideration.
I like D-Hop. It's hard to, you know what? These receivers and running backs should definitely get more credit than they get, but it's a quarterback league, so they're the ones that always get the votes. From a running back perspective, I would say Dalvin Cook is definitely MVP candidate. I think D-Hop is a good candidate as a receiver. I would think Kyler Murray, but he's kind of tapered a little bit. He's kind of had some down games. You got to really be at a high level for a lot of games to really, take that MVP trophy.
Be fair. He's on Arizona, dog. He has to do what he's doing with this Cardinal team. He just can't. And let alone even
that's
a dog.
Good Cardinal team. We got to give him credit, TP. We don't talk about him enough on this show. I mean, that's a good team. They're playing some solid football. Yeah, they had a bad loss Thursday night. We talked about it last week against Seattle, but that's a good football team.
Hey, I talk about them. I don't know about you, but I cook with these dudes. Believe me, I don't cook with margarine. I cook with butter. And the crazy part about it is we have people in the kitchen out there on the West Coast. They are actually they're Kansas City Chiefs fans, and they were mad at Kyler Murray because they lost a bet over Kyler Murray, and that was the one thing that held them against Kyler Murray. I'm like, there's no way that you can hold that against this guy. He's in his second season and doing well. So, and this was before they had the record that they have. They're 6-4 and a game out of the division lead. So this is definitely something to consider. So that's something I just wanted to throw out there while we were doing that. Another name that would have been like that a lot of us thought would have been in the discussion is Thomas Brady. I want to hear how you guys feel about in the way. No, not in the MVP conversation. Let me get this out. Stop eating fast. Listen, slow down. Swallow your. I got you. Don't worry. So I want to see how you guys feel about Brady at this point in time. He is not looking the best as we're normally used to seeing, and I don't know if it's the system. To me, I'm going to say it like this, and I may be like real critical on the way I'm looking at it. But I don't think he's comfortable when they have him under center and dropping back trying to throw bombs. Yes, he has a ton of talent around him, but he looks erratic. He looks like he's rattled. And this is something that people were calling out, and I'm starting to notice this. And this has been throughout his career, but I always overlooked it or gave him a pass. I hate to say it, Sports City. He's a sore loser. Tom Brady is a sore loser. The way that they lost the other day. Listen, no. Now, mind you, the way that they lost the other day, you had Jared Goff lose a Super Bowl to you and was man enough to come to the middle of the 50, shake your hand, and hear you say good game, and next time you try better or whatever, and walked off the field and you got the confetti and all that other stuff. He finally beat you in Tampa Bay, knowing how big this game is, and you walk straight off the field. You don't talk to anybody. You just grabbed your helmet and your ball and went in the doggone locker room. I want to see how you guys feel about Tom Brady at this point in time. And don't get me wrong, Sports City, and people out there in the wide world web that are hearing this, I consider Brady the GOAT. Quarterback, GOAT, all time. Like, I don't know all-time player because I'll throw LT in the conversation. I'm biased as family. Jerry Rice, you know, I throw in that conversation. Or Barry Sanders, I'm biased again. But these are names that I'm just throwing out there that could be considered in the conversation. But at the quarterback position, I give Brady his due. But the way that he's looking right now, especially when he takes his 7-step drop or 5-step drop and having defenders get to him quicker than he's used to, he is looking questionable to say the least. I want to see how you guys feel about it. Eric, I'll come to you first. Your thoughts on the status of Brady at this midway point in the season?
Well, Ty, that's why I picked the Rams to beat him last week because, you know, he doesn't have the great wall of Belichick anymore. You know, he was untouchable in New England. Now he's on a whole new different team, a whole new different scheme, and he does not have that offensive line that he had in New England. So, you know, he threw for 2 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, a 62.5 quarterback rating, and that's for 216 yards. That's not the Tom Brady we're used to. So, and for what he did, that is completely unprofessional. I mean, that was disrespect to the game, if you ask me. Like, I couldn't believe that when I saw it. I was like, are you kidding me? All the greats in every sport have, you know, all paid their dues when they lost, and for Tom Brady to do something like that, that's just total disrespect. Just like you said, Goff lost the Super Bowl to you, and he came out in the field and shook your hand, and you lose in a regular season game, and you're throwing a fit about it and pouting, and you can't even congratulate the other team. So it's a huge disappointment in my book. I'm going to agree with you on the GOAT. I mean, you got to give credit where credit's due. No other quarterback has done the things Brady has done. But this is a huge black eye on his legacy right here.
And just looking at Goff, look at the sideline and look for him, I was just like, man, that's terrible. Because, you know, I'm not going to lie, and it sounds like I'm being very defensive. I'm being so defensive for Jared Goff. But you look at it like Goff is looking at me lose the Super Bowl, and at least he could be a measuring stick for me to finally beat him and then, like, feel like I've accomplished something. And it's like knowing that Goff grew up watching him because he grew up watching him. Coming out of college and getting into the league, you look at Brady as being your idol, and you finally do it, and then he's like, nah, I ain't going to shake his hand. I'm going straight in the locker room and button up about this one, and so what, whoever says what, and I could dodge cameras and answer questions like next comment or no comment or things like that. So that's how I feel some way about Brady at this point in time. I do have a caller calling in by way of the state of Georgia. Naj, welcome to the Cookout. How are you feeling this evening?
Yeah, I'm cool, man. What's going on?
Not too much. Just throwing this around. Say that again?
I just said peace, everybody.
Oh, definitely. Happy.
Peace.
What's
but
up,
your thoughts on the status at hand of at least Brady being on the downside of this conversation, on him not being the guy that everybody expected it to be, him being a sore sport. And losing that game, and he's looking questionable. And Nas, I give you credit because you were one of the people that were calling Tampa Bay out where a lot of people were crowning them to win the South. You were one of the guys that said, no, they still got to try and go out there and play defense. The defense has looked okay, but Brady is looking like one of the questionable pieces within that offense. Your thoughts?
Yeah, man. You know, typically when quarterbacks are 43 years old, they get less good, you see. That's great analysis for me. But no, man, the dude is old, man. What do we expect? Like, why did we think he would be better as an old man? So, yeah, he's falling off a little bit. He's still effective. They still got the best defense. So they're going to be a tough out, but I think they're going to be an out. Like, I don't see them winning the chip. But overall, man, yeah, it's tough. Everybody knows arm strength and accuracy are the two things that's hurting them as far as deep throws. So everybody's taking away the short stuff and making it tough on him. And, I mean, he's just going to have to execute. But they're going to still light some people up before the season is over with. But, again, this dude is 43 years old, man. Like, what did we expect? As far as him not shaking hands, I don't care. That's a Jared Goff issue. If Jared Goff mad, he should say something like, yo, bro, you ain't shaking my, like, call him out in the media. I want Rams players to say something about it. Besides that, man, I don't care about people shaking their hand or whatever. It is what it is, man. If he want to be that type of dude, then that's how he carrying it. But if don't nobody check him on it, I'm looking at the players. Like, y'all ain't going to say nothing? Get out there publicly and let that boy have it. That's what I want to see. Then it's interesting. But him just doing it, whatever.
See, look at this. You got to get that dirty South talk in here. Look at him. But he's telling the truth. He got to talk. Got to tell him how he feel. Barry, your thoughts on the situation with Tom Brady? I know you can't stand him, but your thoughts on him being a sour sport. And also, is he the questionable piece? Every time they end up losing, it's Arians calling them out in front of the media. I mean, your thoughts and it's interesting that Nas did put that out there on the grill. A lot of people think that they're slotted to be the first team ever to play the Super Bowl at home because the Super Bowl takes place in Tampa. Do you think that they fall short? Do you think that he still is okay to get there at the end of the day?
Well, there's a lot of meat on that bone. I'm going to try to go piece by piece. I mean, to start from the end, and go backwards. I never thought that they were the best team coming into this season. I wasn't on the show when you guys breaking it down, but I agree with Naj. Like, I never thought that they were the best team. I thought they would be a pretty good team, but I didn't even think they were the best team in their division. I thought the Saints were a better team. Defensively, they're much better, and they have a better offense as a whole. But listen, don't put that out there that I don't like Tom Brady. That's not true. I don't dislike Tom Brady. I just think, it was for a long time I had Joe Montana as the GOAT, and now I can safely and calmly say that Tom Brady is the greatest quarterback of all time. Do I think he's the greatest football player? No, Lawrence Taylor is. But, I mean, listen, I agree with Naj. I don't think it was a big deal that he didn't shake hands. I kind of look at it like the best winners are the sorest losers. This is a guy that wins a lot. So, he don't like to lose. Like, I think MJ and all those other guys, listen, if it's hard for me because I give Isaiah Thomas a lot of flack and I give, Larry Bird and those guys a lot of flack for walking off the court in the playoffs. So I should give Tom Brady flack. But honestly, in a regular season game on a Monday night that nobody really cares about and nobody's going to really remember, that's not going to taint his legacy. I mean, one Monday night game is not going to take away 6 Super Bowls. I'm sorry. But listen, the problem is, and I've been saying it for a while, like, listen, Tom Brady has not looked good all year. I'm sorry. Like, everybody wants to point to, like, the Packer game. He did nothing, okay? After a loss, he came back. He didn't have to do anything because, Rodgers threw 2 pick sixes. I mean, Brady, has had games where he threw some touchdowns and stuff, but, Naj is right. He's 43 years old. It's like in baseball when you get older, you have to cheat on the fastball. You got to swing early. Either you hit that fastball and you pull it down the line, or you're way ahead of the curveball. Like, he has to cheat to get the ball downfield. He has to muffle it up to throw it downfield, and he has no accuracy because he's old, and he's not a long ball thrower. He never was. He hasn't been for the last, 4 years, and he's not going to start that now even though he has weapons. Hey, great, he has good Godwin, and he's got Brown now. He's got Evans and Gronk to throw to, but he can't get him the ball because he can't throw it deep. I mean, the pressure gets in his face. I mean, you're talking about guys that can rush 4 guys, and the Saints and the Rams can sit back in coverage with 7 guys and play 2 deep safety and hopefully not let the long ball go because Tom can't even hit the long ball pass. So, I mean, Tom Brady is not fit for this offense. I'm sorry. Arians is a guy that wants to throw it downfield. Brady is a guy for the last couple of years, especially in New England with Josh McDaniels, that wants to throw the short ball, throw the underneath route, take the 5-yard dunk to James White, etc. He doesn't have a guy to dump it to underneath because Rodney Joe can't catch the ball, and he can't get it deep. So I mean, this is a mismatch made in heaven. This offense can't succeed with him. But I mean, honestly, I'm not surprised he didn't go to half court or half field or midfield, whatever you want to call it, to shake anybody's hand. He probably thought Darnold was going to come hit him again because they've been all over him the whole game. So, I mean, he's probably running like, I don't want to get hit again. So, listen, Tom Brady's not fit for this offense. Unless Arians, and I blame Arians and Leftwich. Arians is doing the right thing, calling him out in public because Brady's a 6-time winner and can take that kind of heat. But you got to go into the locker room on Monday, Tuesday, and say, hey, listen, what can we do to make this work? Do we need to stop throwing it deep? What do you like to do that we can do in this offense so that we can win some games and get to the Super Bowl? They haven't done that yet. They keep saying, hey, let's do the seven-step drop with no offensive line, throw it deep, and let's see what we got. That's not working.
I'd rather him be in shotgun and be comfortable like he was in New England and let him work like that. I'd rather not watch him try to be mobile because we all know what he looked like in 2000 in his combine. He ran a 5.240. So it only gets worse.
He doesn't have to be mobile, TP, but he needs the underneath stuff. You know what I mean? He can't throw a deep, TP. He can't.
Right. And here goes another thing, too. This is something I talked about, like, this past week. This is an offense that has my mind boggled that you sit out there the past year and went and got Leonard Fournette and Shady McCoy and won't get these guys the ball, I think 2 games ago, total of 5 run plays the entire game. So you're telling me that you're forcing Brady to pass the ball. That's what you're telling me right now. The Brady's going to throw the ball, and just like Josh, and you would claim he's 43 years old, he's looking slower or arm may be tiring, who knows. But this is what you're forcing him to do. To me, you're going to make me think that he's getting forced to be want out of there or forced to retire. I don't know what's going to happen, but I'm maybe jumping the gun. I do got people at the door here in the building or outside here at the Cookout, oldie but goodie. Calling in by way of the 917 area code. We have Mr. White in the building. Messiah, how are you feeling this evening?
You know, you might have to call to work, Messiah. You have work. I'm bashing on Tom Brady and black like Bruce Arians, George Seifert, Bill Walsh. You knew in training camp what you had. So you kept working it. That's what you're saying. Remember, the preseason prediction with the Bucs is reception. You need to take care of the ball. The 5-1 win. So now looking at like names of he's with the Rams getting battered around. This is on the coaches. I'm sorry. You gotta get the line together, the ball. You got all these tight ends, and then let Brady pick and choose his shots down the field. Dashing him. Come on, he played with Coach City. He's just getting dashed. This is different. This is X's and O's. And Brady will tell you, this is X's and O's. But this is why we play the game, and they need to figure it out. But I just came to give you guys a shout-out, and I will be at the game more often until the next game of God or the whatever comes.
Yeah, you and Barry fighting the same battle, hoping for the Knicks to get good. But I got one good thing to say for you. There is a Powell on the Knicks. Just so you know. So you got a shooter in the guard. Don't worry. I'll put something in for you. Don't worry. We keep the ratchet. Don't worry. Okay. But that neither here nor there. I feel a certain way about what I've seen with Brady. That to me, I respect him. I was one of the guys sitting here in the kitchen, I want to say 2012. I said he wouldn't win anymore. This was after the 3rd championship he got. He won 3 more. I was like, he's the GOAT. And then still watching him do this at 43, enough is enough, dog. Like, you won enough games. You lost enough games. You got kids that are 12, 13 years old getting ready to go to middle school and high school and be competitive themselves. You got to set a better example. I know with some of you, half of y'all care about the handshake and half of y'all don't. You got to show sportsmanship at the end of the day. Knowing that this is a competitive team, knowing that the Rams ain't no pushover game, it ain't like, okay, we lost to the Rams and they're 2-9. The Rams are a team that's fighting for the doggone lead in the NFC West. You played a tough team. You can't be bitter about this while you're getting ready to be at the doorstep of December. No, I'm not buying that. Whoever is giving him a little leeway, I'm not buying that, and I'm being critical of Tom because I respect him as much as I can pick on him too. I'm a fan of the game as well as somebody that's going to analyze this too. And you got to hold them accountable at the end of the day. And Bruce, I'm sorry you keep picking on him and making.
I just don't want to see him. I just don't want to see him kiss his son in the mouth again. That's what I don't want.
That is crazy. No, let's stop it. Stop. Whoa, stop. Man, I'm not. See, this is where people go left field.
Here we go.
I'm not cooking that. I'm not cooking that. That's not even on this grill right here. Like I'm not.
That's what I criticized that man for. I'm uncomfortable from that still. Like, yeah.
Stop, dog. Like I'm not doing that. Did I do that? Like, okay. I'm gonna get away from it as best as I could possibly see fit. Okay, I'm happy as college basketball is back in the building. So I'm glad my Warriors won out the gate, even though they was struggling out the gate. But I got more. I want to see, Barry, if you got anything that you'd like to throw on the grill before I start passing the spatula around. Anything that you would like to address before we get away from a lot of these topics?
No, I mean, I would love to talk a little. You talk of football games tomorrow, but I'd love to talk about what we saw with the draft and free agency. It was a kind of a crazy couple days. I mean, a lot of nothing. A little bit of something, a lot of nothing that happened over those days. So, I mean, I don't know if you want to throw it out or you want me to just start ranting.
Don't set it off. Don't be scared to cook. I'm going to try to touch your cooking.
Yeah, okay, so I'm an equal opportunity villain, so, I mean, I got to go around, but listen. What did Knicks fans expect? What did you expect? That we were going to get Gordon Hayward and we were going to get all these big names, Van Fleet and everybody? Like, first of all, the class of free agents sucked, okay? It wasn't that good. All right, next year's a better class, obviously, but you're not getting nobody then either. Nobody wants to come here. Nobody wants to come to the Knicks. All right, let's be clear. You can get Leon Rhodes, you can get Worldwide West, you can get Steve Stout, you can get Jay-Z, you can get whoever you want. You can get everybody. Nobody's coming here. Nobody's coming. You got to draft them. You got to trick them into coming here. You trick them with a lot of money or trick them like, hey, I'm going to draft you. You got to come here. You got to come. I mean, I like to pick a top-end, but, I mean, listen, as a Knicks fan, you got to build it slow. Nobody's coming here unless you trade for them or draft them. But, I mean, at the end of the day, a lot of people think that the Lakers got better with bringing in Gasol and Marquez. I mean, I honestly think they got a little better. I think the centers, the bigs that they got are different from. They're not as athletic as Howard and McGee, but I think they're probably a bit more skilled and it'll help take the load off. I think bringing Schroeder in is a nice pick too. So the Lakers still, I think, are a pretty good team, but yeah, there's just, there's not that one move that's going to turn the tide in free agency this year. I think some guys went home, but there wasn't that big move. I was waiting for the Clippers to bring in a point guard. They never did. Although I do like bringing in Serge Ibaka, TP's old boy. I think that was a nice move. But at the end of the day, I'm seeing the Thunder just accumulate picks. And I think the middle of the pack teams got a little better, but that was about it. I don't know what you think, TB, but that's about it.
Okay, Serge went to the Clippers. I feel a certain way about that because, interesting enough, the last time Serge and Kawhi were together, they just won a championship, and Kawhi, ill enough, left Toronto, and they were a ready-made championship team. That just has me baffled. Looking at the Lakers situation, Montrezl Harrell went there. That's a big pickup, but I don't know if he has that turnover. He's one of those energy players, but is he ready for the long haul? Because he fell asleep with the Clippers. Dennis Schroeder, definitely a good backup point guard position as they get rid of Rondo. But Schroeder has his issues. It's something to watch for. Mm-hmm. But they definitely are loaded with LeBron and AD. That's enough to help them. Caldwell Pope signed as well. But there's a lot of interesting things that happen across the league, especially what happened with Bam Adebayo. Bam got a 5-year deal for damn near $200 million. And
get your money.
I may be brutal, Sports City. Bam is an awesome player. He is box office status. I feel like they threw a lot of money at this guy. But I don't know. I think they may feel like they're going to build around him and Jimmy Butler. That's if Jimmy Butler continues to stay there or if they're going to try to entice other players to be there with them. But, Bam, that is a big contract for him to get. But definitely, I'm not counting that money for you. Do what you need to do, Bam. You played exceptionally well. You did an awesome job. But that would be me, how I feel about the situation. Looking across the board, free agency-wise, Phoenix is trying to do their thing. They just got Dario Saric out there to help fuel the fire with Chris Paul and Devin Booker as well. Phoenix may put themselves in position to be a playoff team out west, even though I think the Western Conference is loaded. And also with Steven Adams being one of the names that left the Thunder, also going to the Pelicans, and also signed a quick 2-year extension as soon as he got there also. Just to name a quick few, I do feel a certain way about DeMarcus Cousins going to the Rockets while everybody's trying to leave. He's trying to get to Houston. And with Harden definitely trying to get out the door, turning down $100+ million. Russell Westbrook trying to get out the door as he got there after a year. So there's a lot of interesting things going around in the league, free agency-wise, and also within the NBA draft. Eric, I'll come to you. Your thoughts
what do you think about Kelly Oubre going to Golden State? Do you think they did enough to offset the devastating injury to Klay Thompson?
No, I think they're filling the void. I think it's a situation that they're just putting a body there that's credible around the league. He doesn't have the gun that Klay Thompson has. Even if they got Andrew Wiggins, guys that are going to go to the lane. They'll create a shot out there and try to shoot a three here or there, but they don't have a clip on them like Klay does. So I don't feel like they answer that void. I think Steph Curry's going to end up pressing again and being in a situation that he was last year and falling on his hand and breaking his hand and not wishing any injury like that. But he's going to have to press to make things happen because Draymond Green isn't a shooter. They went and got a big in the draft, so they're going to overload the paint. And you got guys that are cutting to the lane more or less than shooting like that. Steph is more or less the shooter in this. So I think this is an interesting move to at least say the least. But then again, the picture is painted. Where is the bench in Golden State? They don't have anybody on the bench. So they need to clear as much as possible. So Eric, one thing
I want to say, one thing.
Go ahead.
Congratulations to Van Fleet, non-drafted, getting your money, man. Congratulations to him.
Real talk. And for him to get that, and to me out there in Toronto, I like him more than I like Kyle Lowry. Kyle Lowry does some questionable things in the middle of the game, but somehow they get the job done. I just don't know how to get it done, but Van Fleet has been the guy outside of Lowry. Also, I'm being biased, Norman Powell also being the trigger man out there in Toronto. Eric, since you were giving me trouble outside of the kitchen about what's been going on in this free agency market, now is your time to throw stuff on the grill about what's happening in this market.
All right, yeah, just like everybody else commented on, there wasn't really any big splashes that happened in the free agency. I mean, the Lakers added 6th Man of the Year and 6th Man of the Year runner-up in Schroeder and Harrell, and also landed Marc Gasol. So, I mean, just like Magic Johnson commented, wow. With the addition of Gasol now, the Lakers are too deep in every position that this is definitely a championship-ready team. And, besides the Nuggets, I don't think there's going to be, barring any injuries, how the Lakers are now, there's not going to be too many teams that can bang with them. So, I know it's early, but you can almost pretty much get the parade going for 2021 as well.
Please do not oversell yourself on Marc Gasol. Please, we are on a deep decline. Well, at least in my eyes.
No. Hey, I'm not overselling Gasol at all. I'm happy about Schroeder and Harrell. That's my main thing there. Gasol just is another nice piece to take the load off Anthony Davis. So, I'm not. Marc Gasol is nothing to where he was in the past. He's getting older, but he's a big bruiser and he'll be able to take the load off Anthony Davis.
I want to know who he's bruising because he sits around the perimeter all day now. He don't want to bang with nobody. Like, that is a shell of the Marc Gasol that you're used to seeing. Marc Gasol sits outside like he's a point guard. That to me, the Montrezl Harrell pickup is big. Dennis Schroeder is big. They also got Morris, the twin, to come back These are big pieces, but the Soul situation, I'm baffled. He doesn't play the defense that people consider him to be one of the defensive players.
He's there for
He's a
playoff
good defender,
matches.
though.
They get matched up against Denver, against Joker, or another big, like Portland has, Nurk, Cantor, and some of those guys. That's the only reason he's there. Playoff matchup situations to where he might play one series and not play the next. That's it. It's a good pickup, though, for that reason.
I do like what Portland did. They didn't make a splashy move, but they kept Melo. I think they brought in Hood and Covington, and brought in some size with Cantor, brought him back. I do like what they did. I like what the Suns did. They've built a nice little team down there. And you know what? I think the Hawks overpaid, but you can't hate what they did bringing in Rondo, Gallinari, and some shooters around that young talent out there. So, I give Atlanta, hey, they want to win now. They want to start winning some games and get into the playoff push. So I respect what they did, even though I think they did overpay a little bit. I mean, Gallinari as a bench player getting $20 million, wow. $20 million a year.
I don't know if he's not going to start at the 4 for them. He might end up starting. I didn't necessarily like it, but I was happy because they were chasing Gordon Hayward before that. So I was like, okay, as much as I don't like Gallinari, it's 10 times better than getting Gordon Hayward out here. So, yeah, the Hawks are built to at least get that 6, 7, 8 seed. They want to try to convince Trey to stay. So this is the process. Bogdanovich is a really good signing. He's a lot better than what most people know about him. That kid can get hot and fill it up. Handle ain't too bad either. Everybody else, like the upper tier, they did what they needed to do. Denver got lucky and Jerami Grant wanting to leave, so they were able to kind of fill everything with cheap options, and we're going to see more Michael Porter Jr. in them next year. So, Denver, I think they're up there in the West Elite. And I don't think we have the East-West thing we used to have. I think we're 6 deep in both conferences. And then after that, there's a huge drop-off. It's not like it was where the West was running.
Don't say that.
Well, let's run through the teams then.
Have fun.
Who do you got in the West?
Nuggets.
Who you got in the West?
Yeah, in the West we got the Lakers, the Nuggets, Trailblazers, Clippers. Who else?
Mavericks.
Well, you said the Lakers. Wait, the Lakers,
Mavericks.
The Nuggets. Wait, okay, hold on. Lakers, Nuggets, Mavericks, Clippers.
Denver. And you said Denver.
You
said the Nuggets.
You said Lakers,
said Portland, and then you got to give the Suns. I think the Suns.
I'm going to name them off again. I'm looking at the whole Western Conference list right now. I'm going to look at the list too. Clippers, Lakers, Phoenix is in the discussion now. That's 3, right?
Yeah, Phoenix is in the discussion. Yep,
Dallas,
absolutely.
Denver.
Yep, Portland and Utah.
That's 7 right now. He said 6.
Yep.
If Houston doesn't listen, and if Houston doesn't move Harden or Westbrook, they're 8 right now.
They're moving.
Okay, so the point I was making was, so you got 6 teams who you could say are possible contenders. I don't think we're calling Phoenix a contender. They're in the same trajectory Atlanta's on. Make the playoffs, possibly get to the second round. That's a win.
I get what you mean now.
Now we go out east.
I get what you mean now.
Same thing. You see what I'm saying? So it's
no. Now I see what you're saying. Now you painted the picture better as saying if they were NBA final ready. I get what you're saying now. Now it's different. Okay. I thought you meant like as a competitive team within the conference because I'm like, okay, because you always look at the Eastern Conference. 6, 7, 8, they have losing records every year in the Eastern Conference. That's why I don't even consider it. Like, it's going to be somebody that comes out of the East, and then they play in the NBA Finals and see what they can do. But the Western Conference, you're going to get 8 teams or 9 teams or 10 teams that are going to give you a winning record. The 8, 9, and 10 are fighting for that spot every year, and they're about 4 or 5 games over 500. You know what I'm saying? But it's, now that you paint the picture different.
Things continue until they stop. Yeah, so that's how it's been. But looking at it right now, the bottom of the West is not what it was. So now we're looking at the West, where you got the clear top-heavy teams at the top, and then you get to the teams that are just going to make the playoffs. And after that, it's a huge drop-off, just like the East. So now we go out East. What do we got? We got Philly.
But wait, Nas, before you go to the East, do you think Golden State did enough to get into the playoffs?
Yeah, I think they'll get in, but I don't see them as a contender. Like y'all.
No, I don't see them as a contender.
No. No, you think Golden State
they're going to win 20 games next year.
No.
20-win team. Yeah.
A 20-win team? No, I think honestly,
wins.
come on. I think Wiggins can get you 20 a night. He's not going to be the lethal shooter, but I think he can get you points. Curry's going to do his thing. I think Wiseman is probably a double-double guy. And then, Oubre's going to be – I think they did enough to get 40 wins and get into the playoffs, to get into the back end. That's what I think.
No, they won't.
Yeah,
I don't think so. I'm not buying One before you oversell that about Wiggins. Wiggins is a streaky player. Wiggins will not get you 20 like that. And that happened in Minnesota because Minnesota was like, here goes the ball. Do something, and you'll get a game where he'll come and give you 27. You'll get 4 games in a row. He gave you 9, 13, 11, and he's your trigger man. Like, no way, no how. I'm not buying that. I just look at double teams to Curry. I look at packing the paint against Wiseman and Green. I think he'll have space to operate a little bit better. That's what I think. But we'll see.
Yeah, Oubre is going to play a lot better than him next year. Just put it like that.
Yeah.
Oubre likes playing with a dude like Steph. Oubre is going to surprise some people because I don't think they understand what kind of bunnies that kid got. Now, he's inconsistent too.
Oh, he get up.
It's going to be nice when he goes nuts.
Wiggins and Oubre, they both leave the floor. They both get off the floor. Now, I'm not saying that they ain't dunkers, but
but Oubre got the heart to do it to you. Wiggins,
Wiggins, if he shows up,
right. That's how I feel about it. Exactly how I feel about Wiggins. That's exactly that's exactly how I feel about him. Wow.
But hold on before we lose the thought though, let's go back out east. And like I said, it's a similar situation. You're starting off.
Wait. Go in alphabetical order because I'm looking at the list. So go in alphabetical order. So we have Boston, Brooklyn now because KD and them there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Miami, Boston. I got Boston, Brooklyn, Toronto. In the Heat put respect on their name.
4.
Philly is 5. You know what? The Pacers are. I think the Pacers are going to be okay.
No,
I think the Pacers are a solid
Don't
team.
do that. Don't do it. Don't do that.
Why?
That's another one of those possibles. No, that's another one of those possibles.
They're not
you go to Atlanta, then you go to Orlando.
Wait, hold on. I want to be fair. I want to be fair, right? Because now this is Oladipo healing. He's healing, right? The Pacers make the Eastern Conference semifinals. Let's say the semifinals. They can make it to the second round.
T.J. Warren would have to be as good as he was in the bubble for that to happen. And I don't know if that's true or not. He would have to be as good as he was then.
I think the only contenders in the East Coast are the Heat, the Raptors, and the Celtics. Those are the big contenders to win the title. The verdict isn't out yet on the Nets, so it's hard to come back from
let's
Achilles.
not forget about this.
Wait, hold on. We did all of this talking, right? And we didn't even mention Milwaukee. How the hell they fall off? And they've been dominating. They've been doing their thing, and now they just pushed off the edge because everybody knows the recipe is you remove Giannis, they don't have nothing. And
now they
that's
got
why
J.
I think TP, they are one of the big losers in free agency because they couldn't swing that deal for what's his face? I can't say his name.
Bogdanovich.
Bogdanovich. There you go, Bogdanovich.
That was a huge fail.
But hold on.
That was a huge fail.
To lose Bledsoe and gain J. Rue is a huge step up.
Yeah,
in play,
that is a great point.
Shooting,
that's
going to help a lot, bro. Like J. Rue is a gamer. Like he is going to help Giannis a lot.
They needed that extra guy.
Listen, we don't play an ounce of defense. Hold on. He don't play an ounce of defense. Listen. He don't play an ounce of defense. And again, like I was saying about Wiggins, Drew Holiday is streaky also. He is not consistent. He falls asleep at the wheel.
But you know what? He's more consistent than Bledsoe, and Bledsoe plays no defense.
Yeah, J. Rue Holiday, one of the best defenders in the league, 1 or 2.
Yeah, he is.
Okay, but I've seen him get baked on several occasions.
He's a great defender.
I've seen Drew get baked on several occasions.
If you guard people, you're gonna get cooked sometime. Like he guards. Yeah,
that's highlights, man. I mean, listen, he's a good defender, on-ball defender. And Drew Bledsoe don't guard nobody, okay? And he is not a gamer.
Shoot.
Like, he disappears.
And he could.
He disappears.
Shoot. Yeah.
Exactly. But to Naj's point,
Middleton's coming back.
I think
so. They're gonna be nice.
Listen, I think
Watch this. I'm gonna say this right now. Watch the Pelicans have a better record than Milwaukee. Watch this.
No.
Let's
not go crazy.
With that change,
bro. Giannis still playing.
With that change, okay, and everybody know that they read the blueprint. To keep him out of the paint. Keep him out of. You see how he looked in his gloves.
Everybody knew that the past 2 years.
Listen,
it's one thing to know it. It's another thing to do it.
Yeah, right. The story did not change. What is he going to change, Nas? They try to work on him to shoot the jump shot. His jump shot is off.
Change. He's still going to get 30 and 11 and 6 in 29 minutes and sit down like he did last year.
Oh, right. And it doesn't work out for the team. What? Okay, we'll see. I love it right now. It smells good in the cookout right now. I want to see how it look at the end of the day. Pelicans. I'm saying it now. Pelicans probably have a better record.
The West has been running stuff for a long
did you
time.
hear yourself?
Free agency.
That's why it was the Heat, the Raptors, and the Celtics as the top dogs in the East. With what you just said, that the Pelicans could have a better record than them. You're absolutely correct. The top dogs in the East, though, contending for the championship will be the Heat, the Raptors, or the Celtics.
Right, exactly what I'm saying, Eric. There's going to be teams that are going to be in Milwaukee face now. It's not like they're going to have pushover games against Brooklyn no more. Especially if KD's healthy, especially if Kyrie's healthy, especially if they could get another gun. Like Brooklyn is out there to be something. Philadelphia may be a totally different.
Brooklyn is not going to be something next year. It's going to take time.
What are y'all doing? Yeah, Milwaukee was washing people last year. Go look up Milwaukee's record versus the West. It didn't matter. They was washing everybody during the regular season. They're a good team.
Yeah, but you know what? Milwaukee's that team. Milwaukee's a team to me that is good against the bad teams, but when they're like 50-50 against a team that can play with them. And the Heat, TP's right. The Heat put the blueprint together on how to shut down that team. That's why I thought getting a shooter like Bogdanović was huge, and they blew it. They didn't just blow it because they got outbid. They blew it because they snitched on themselves and told before the deal was done that they got this dude, and then they got messed up, and the dude didn't even want to come here. Like, they blew it. It was a big mistake, and I think it's going to hurt them in the long run because that player could have swung the tide in their favor. But I don't. They were trying
to get him for the low. They didn't want him to hit free agency because once everybody knew he was available, their price was going to jump, and they wouldn't be able to afford him. That's just what happened, man. They tried to entice
and I don't think he wanted to go there.
Come out here and win championships.
He never agreed. He never agreed to go there.
No. He basically walked away from like $20 million if he would have taken the deal they had as opposed to what he signed for. Like, that's crazy. And Ken is not going to do that. But look, White Dante, my homie out there in Milwaukee, he ain't too bad. And with boy going to the Lakers, Wes Matthews going to the Lakers, Dante is probably going to get that starting role now. Dante's going to surprise some people because that kid can play.
We'll see. I mean, listen, I go ahead, TV.
No, go finish because I want to switch it. Like, I'm going to keep it within the NBA, but I want to see. Go ahead. I'll let you finish.
Okay. Yeah. I was just saying I just don't think they did enough, and I honestly don't think. I think 2 years in a row for Boston to lose a top star, even though like Hayward's not their best player, they maxed out Tatum, which was huge for them. He's going to be one of the better players in the league if he isn't already. MVP candidate level. I think Boston losing another big horse is going to hurt them in the end. But for coach helps. I think they need to figure out how to play. Embiid, if you don't get your big behind down on the block and get away from the 3-point line, I'm going to come down there and kick you in the butt. Like, this is ridiculous. But hopefully Doc gets them to figure it out. I don't count them out. So we'll see. The East is going to be fun.
Yeah, they added a couple of shooters. They added a top point guard in the draft. Like, I mean, Philly did well for themselves this offseason, man. I like where they are.
Ben Simmons got to learn how to play basketball. I'm sorry. Just because you're tall, you were taller than everybody in high school and college, and you can get your own shot in the lane, you can't do that in the NBA. Guess what? You're going to have to learn how to play basketball, son. And that's his problem.
Well, guess what? He's playing at an all-star level right now, so what happens if he does do that? How scary is that?
Well, then this is the team that the process was prophesized.
Yeah, man. I'm just saying,
like
brother,
Barry said,
East is coming, man.
Just like Barry said, like not just to just say learn basketball. Just when you walk into a gym, what's the first thing you do after you stretch? You grab a ball and you shoot. Like, how are you scared to shoot the ball? I get it, you could dunk. I get it that you could run a break and pass and distribute. I get it that you can play the lane and do what you do. You are not a threat if you can't stretch the floor and open things up. You guys are crowding the paint. Just like you said, you pulling Embiid out of there. Now, I get it. Embiid can hit the three, so I like that he can shoot the three, but that's not every play. You got everybody sitting around the perimeter while Simmons want to get into the paint and make things happen, and Doc has work to do. Doc has work to do with Philadelphia. It's going to be interesting to say the least. But they are one of the teams in the hunt.
That's a good job, though, bro. That's one of the best jobs you could ever have. Walk into two young all-stars. You just added shooting. Like I like Philly. I like Seth Curry being out there. I think that was a great addition. Even Danny Green as a rotational guy. That's a good addition. I like what Philly did, man.
Are they an Eastern Conference Final contender?
Well, it goes to what the villain just said.
Absolutely.
If Ben Simmons makes that leap, yeah. If Ben Simmons becomes the all-NBA first or second team guy that his potential says he could be, they can do anything.
Okay, I wanted to say this while we're sitting in the middle of the Eastern Conference. Go ahead, Naj, and I'll get to my point. Go ahead.
No. I just wanted to say if is real big with him.
I hate to be brutal like this, Sports City. Do you think at this point in time, with the history that is bagged alongside this guy, that Gordon Hayward is the move for the Hornets to give him that much money, while they could have brought other pieces to help? They gave him that much money to be an impact for the next 4 years. Me, again, like I don't want to be like that speculative, but he is injury prone since he's gotten into the league, breaking bones, so on and so forth. And you're telling me that you're giving this guy the keys to the Beamer, and you're gonna have to work off of him, LaMelo Ball, which is probably one of the bigger picks within the draft. The Batum situation that was up in the air. I want to see how you guys feel about him being added to the Hornets and Michael Jordan's team. Eric, I'll come to you first. Your thoughts on the Gordon?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, go ahead. No. Go ahead, because you're already out there. Go ahead,
No, go ahead, man. I don't want to jump in front of my man. Well, if you didn't have the injury history, then you wouldn't have had a shot at getting it. So the injury history is kind of part of the package deal. I think who said it earlier, the villain said it earlier. If you're in Charlotte, you have to overpay. Like, that's just how it goes right now until they can really build it into a viable franchise. So you got your go-to scorer. He's going to be there. Yes, you had to pay a huge amount of money to get him. But let's be honest, man. He was ran out of town in Boston. Tatum and Jaylen Brown did not like sharing the court and the ball with him. And as a near max type of guy, if I was him, I would have left too. I'm not going to play third fiddle to two young boys. So he should have left. And he found a landing spot that was going to overpay him. He wanted to go to Indiana. Danny Ainge messed up the negotiations by being greedy, asking for Oladipo and Warren and all kinds of stuff. So he ends up taking the money in Charlotte. I can't think of the kid's name, but there's a guard in Charlotte last year, showed a lot of growth. He's really good. Should have been most improved player.
Devontae Graham?
Devontae Graham, Melo, him. Yep, that's him. So, I mean, they'll put a good product on the court next year, man. Will they be a playoff team? No. But
that's
you just want to grow
why waste your time?
With
exactly. Like, why waste your time? Why waste your time going to Charlotte instead of going somewhere and helping to try to get a championship? Charlotte is not ready to be a championship team in the next 4 years. And I don't like to be brutal like this.
There's 120 million reasons why.
Oh yeah, just to get paid. But that's.
Hey, it's the same reason why Rondo went to Atlanta, and Rondo wanted to go to the Clippers, but the Clippers weren't going to give him that money. You get your money first in the NBA. That money's guaranteed. Hayward got his money guaranteed. He turned down $34 million over 1 year to get 120 over 4 years, guaranteed through 2023 when he's injury prone, like Nas said. Get your money. They can trade you at any time. Get your money. So even if it doesn't work in Charlotte, so what? They'll trade him. If it doesn't work in Atlanta with Rondo, like maybe they get a half a year out of him and then trade him to the Clippers. He already got his money. The Hawks get trade pieces. They get assets back. Get your money.
Okay. Fair enough. I see he could have went to another team and try to help you. Look, he could have went to the Warriors. The Warriors, they need a trigger man. You know what I'm saying? To help Steph out. But I get it.
The
Just like you
Warriors
said.
were not going to invest in an injured guy, though. The Warriors couldn't afford it.
And that too, that all makes a lot of sense from what I'm saying too, because they're already dealing with a hobble roster as it is. So I get it. But him playing in this league and not having a championship, you got to have championship aspirations. Hearing and watching other shows and hearing on why Russell Westbrook and James Harden both want to leave Houston, it made a ton of sense. They may be a powerful team together, right? Being Russell Westbrook, Harden, and the pieces around them, House, so on and so forth, Gordon. Mm-hmm. But they're not ready to win in the Western Conference. They can't beat the likes of the Clippers or the Lakers or Denver with just those two paired together. So that's why it's like they have to try and fish throughout the league to try to see what they're going to do up against the powerhouses within their respective conference or within whatever respective team they may end up landing with. And that's the same way I look at Gordon Hayward's situation.
I mean, honestly, I don't know how they ever thought it was going to work in Houston. Two ball-dominant guys that you only have one basketball. If they were playing with two basketballs, I think that would work. That would work in Houston, but Westbrook don't want to play off the ball. He's a triple-double guy with the ball in his hand. He don't want to play off the ball. And you know, Harden, he's dribble, step back, dribble, step back. Let me shoot the ball. Maybe I'll get fouled, and then I get 40 points. Like, he's boring. Like, you can't just sit around and watch him play. So it wasn't going to work. They're not going to win with those guys. Houston needs to blow it up. Trade Harden. I mean, I think he should want to go to Brooklyn to play with his boys, because right now it's all about the ring. Listen, it's an empty ring for me if he goes to Brooklyn and gets a ring, because he'll be the third guy on that team, but it's a ring nevertheless, and that's all these guys care about is just getting that chip by any means necessary. So whatever. I think the better bet is him going to Philly, but you know what? If I was Houston, blow it up, get your draft assets, and start over, because it's not working.
Okay, fair enough. But interesting to say the least. This is the landscape of the league with the free agency market, and also, I mean, with the picks that have gone across the league as well. And I may feel a certain way about it. Was I forget what show I was watching, but they said that the move that Sam Presti is up to, you may see a draft where the Oklahoma City Thunder will have a whole first round all to themselves. Like this dude is making move after move to get 2 picks here, 3 picks here, 4 picks. I'm like, yo, dog, it's enough. It's a 15-man roster. Like, how many first rounds do you want? Like, okay, okay, I get it, dog. Like, I love him. I love the team. Presti, you do but some magic somehow, some way. But enough with the picks. Like, we get it. We get it. How many pieces are coming out of college that are going to turn the league around? How many LeBrons you going to hit on? How many Carmelo? Like, come on. There's no guarantee. I hope so. But I'm looking at college right now. There ain't no big name that you think is going to come into the league and dominate for the next 2-3 years and turn things around in the league. Like, come on. You got to be competitive.
Well, you know what, TP? I agree with you, but I think it's 15 or 18 first-round picks that they got. Presti's. I got to give him props. He's doing a great job to rebuild this team. They're not going to draft all those players. Obviously, they're going to package them together to get that one good player, and all they got to do is hit on one of them. So I think they're doing a good job of getting the assets. Then you bundle a couple picks together to move up in the draft and get that one big pick, and then, away they go. So hopefully it works out. But, for the next couple of years, they're not going to be very good to watch.
Hey, you watch it, okay? Listen, I'll start talking about the Knicks if you keep this up.
I'm not saying that as hate, brother. I'm Listen, I wish what Presti was doing, what Presti did, get picks or something. You know, it's going to be painful to watch, but he's going to listen. Boston did the same thing. They accumulated a lot of picks, and what did they turn them into? Tatum and Brown, two really good players. So it's patience. It's going to happen.
I have a problem with my patience. I'm telling my personal business. I don't have time to be waiting. I want to see us back in the Western Conference Finals and the NBA Finals, man. But I got it now. There's nothing left but Shea and a very old Trevor Ariza. I can't even believe they got Trevor Ariza to think that he's either playing defense at the clip that he used to or could get threes up like he was in Houston. Like I'm seeing a shell of this guy. Like I don't know. I'm pissed off. I'm pissed off that it happened to my team. Okay. Where do we go from here? I mean, there's a lot of stuff that we could get to.
Let's talk about the games tomorrow. Let's talk about the games.
Okay, so we'll set it off. So first and foremost, I'll let y'all talk about it because then I'm biased. I'm biased on the first game. So the first game is an interesting stinker at this. The Houston Texans not looking like a lot of people spotted them, including myself. I thought that the Texans would be one of the division leaders in the AFC South. They proved me wrong, and I feel bad in saying what I'm about to say. Deshaun Watson signed that contract, and I don't put the blame on their success or their shortcomings on him, but it's like I don't know if I could say if he's content or he's not wanting to blow the doors off the hinges with this offense or if it was the move of DeAndre Hopkins. But the Houston Texans do not look like they should be at this point in time. And the Detroit Lions, I don't know what you get out of these guys, if you're going to get consistent play out of Stafford or what, him trying to force himself out there and play injured. To me, I'm getting what I asked for because I was like, move him, get rid of him. And it's looking like I think he's actually fed up with this situation in Detroit. And a lot of these players not playing. Galladay been out for a couple of games. The last game, it was Galladay out, Amendola out, Swift caught a concussion. It was multiple players on the offensive side of the ball that were missing. And I to myself, it really looked like Stafford was done. Like I really watching him throw the ball out of bounds while the receiver was wide open, and this isn't him. But we can start off with that first game first. The Texans in Detroit, Thanksgiving Day in 14 hours. How do you guys feel about this matchup? Eric, I'll start with you first.
Yeah, Ty, unfortunately, I like the Texans in this one. Just like you just commented on, the Lions looked Matt Stafford is completely bored with being there now, it looks like. He's over it. And Deshaun Watson has shown some fire in the last two games, so it's going to be a good Thanksgiving for the Texans.
Nah,
they're
your
on
thoughts
glue
on the
over
match?
there in Detroit. They're on glue in Detroit, my friend.
Interesting enough. Nas, your thoughts on this matchup, especially with both of these teams in downward spiral position at this point in time in week 12, yep. Nas, are you still there?
I guess he didn't want to talk about the Lions. I don't blame him.
Hey, that's fine. At least they're doing better than the Giants. Okay, Barry, your thoughts on this matchup? You're fighting for it with 3 wins. You're fighting for first place with 3 wins. Don't start with me. Don't start with me. I can really bury you and with your quarterback falling on his face in open field.
It's not the size of the dog in the fight.
What dog bit Danny Dimes in his ankle on that 80-yard run? You tell me what happened on 80.
It's the same one that bit the rest of the teams in the division.
Yellow bit him. Yellow been dead for a while. Okay, so your thoughts on the matchup?
This is my yearly game where I have to watch the Lions for a whole game. No red zone or anything to save me from watching them unless they're playing the Giants. So this is my game. I have to watch them. Listen, I like the Texans. I think I agree. Stafford looks over it. Like he's like, why haven't I been traded out of here yet? It's like weird. listen, I think the Texans, I think they figured out some nice things against the Patriots last week. Watson looks really good throwing the ball last couple of games to Eric's point. I think the defense will probably, put the screws on them and get some pressure up front. And hopefully, hopefully I'm hoping for a close game. I wouldn't be surprised if the Lions pull it out because they usually play well on Thanksgiving and ruin everybody's Thanksgiving. But I don't think this year that they're gonna play well enough to win the game.
I love this so much, Sports City. This is beautiful that I'm walking into Thanksgiving like this. Leave me all by myself. I'm going to roll with my boys to pull off this so-called upset at home. I just want to make sure that everybody is able to go. But as I'm looking at the injury report, and I'm trying to get the full injury report as we pull this one up, because I'm hoping with both of my hands together, please, baby, please, that at least if we can get Galladay out there, I feel all right. If not, or not even just Galladay, if they can actually get Swift out there, Galladay is ruled out. So that's it. Amendola is out again. So both of these dudes are out. What happened? Like out of nowhere, these dudes. Well, Galladay's situation. I think more or less that Galladay is and he could be injured, but I know that he's waiting for that extension, and Detroit's not trying to open their mouths up. But hopefully, at least they can get Swift back on the field, too. They also got Mohamed Sanu off of the waiver wire, and they were practicing with him for, I think, the past 2 weeks. So hopefully he can get out there on the field. But the Lions are dealing with a lot of injuries at this point in time, especially going into this game down with at least 6 players that start are out for this game. But I still believe in my boys pulling this one out on Thanksgiving. And I'll be by myself on this one. But the reason why I say this is because I don't know what Texans offense we're going to see. Like, I think Deshaun Watson can cause a problem because he's a mobile quarterback. But if he's still erratic and not completing passes, I feel like the Lions could capitalize. But for them to get shut out on the road and having those opportunities to make a difference in the game up against a Panther team that's under 500, and I feel the Lions are a better team than the Panthers. I really do, but they did not show that last Sunday. They have to come out here, and this is the crazy part. For them to be 4-6, they're still in the hunt to be at least in a playoff situation because it's different this year. So they have something to play for. So that's in line for them at this point in time.
Playoffs?
Hey.
Playoffs.
It's not just 6 teams anymore. It's not just 6 teams. The Lions are so slow down. So slow your roll. Shut it. See, don't make me go back to where don't make me start with you. Okay, so the next matchup we have, and this is bad, Sports City, because now I'm looking at the game totally different. The game after the Lions game with the Washington football team going up against the Dallas Cowboys now. Personally, I always have to watch this team, being the Washington football team. This is my father's favorite team, so I watch them every week, even though if they're doing bad or good. I watch Washington to see what they're doing and be like, my father would have been this way, this, that, or third. And now Dallas, dealing with the loss of a strength coach and dealing with a death on a holiday. I mean, I feel like I push all of my chips to Dallas to win this game. I want to see how you guys feel about this matchup, especially just a few weeks back. The Washington football team was able to hold the Cowboys to a field goal the entire game with Andy Dalton at the quarterback. Andy Dalton is back at the scene of the crime. Can he put points up on the board, especially while he did it just last week up against Minnesota? Barry, I'll come to you. Your thoughts on this matchup, Washington football team in Dallas up against your Cowboys.
My Cowboys? You really just said my Cowboys? Oh, stop it. Listen, first of all, we did say, the unfortunate passing of their strength coach. That's and to have to play a game right behind that is very unfortunate and very sad. But after Thanksgiving, I will have my annual laugh on because listen, the Redskins are going to run all over the Cowboys. They still don't play any defense. I think if the Redskins run the ball, I think Alex Smith and company should be able to get this win. I think it'll be a close game. I like what I saw last week out of CeeDee Lamb. God, I mean, why teams passed on him, I have no idea. that kid is amazing. You know, and I think, you know, correct me if I'm wrong, T, but I think Ezekiel Elliott showed up last week. I think he finally showed up for the season. I think he played his first game. That was nice. But I honestly, outside of that, I think the Redskins should be able to take this game. They should be able to score some points and get pressure up front with their front. They're one of the better defensive lines in the league, and be able to get pressure up front and control the line of scrimmage against the team that lost their 2 tackles, the Cowboys, and steal this win on Thanksgiving and ruin everybody's little Thanksgiving. Did I say that? The Washington. I always say, the Washington. I had Washington football team will win this game.
See, and this is what villains do. I try to help you people out. This is what they do. They say corrupt things of that nature, and then they get mad at me, and then they get happy that Zeke is doing good, and he said it was nice that Zeke's doing good. I told you that this is a Cowboy fan on the low. Like, he likes the Mets. He likes the Cowboys.
Don't disrespect me like that. You just we're brothers, man. Don't do that to me.
Listen,
don't disrespect me like that.
Wait, hold on. Eric, did you or did you not just hear him say that Zeke looked nice? He finally showed up for the season, and CeeDee Lamb is phenomenal. He's the best thing ever since sliced bread.
That's a dig at Ezekiel Elliott.
Hold on. Excuse me. Your name is not Aaron. Your name is Barry. Look, and the fact of the matter that you gave CD a whole bunch of praises, and you're talking about Zeke in a good light and saying nicest out of the third and pie and all this other stuff. This is what I'm hearing. This is what you're putting out. I'm sorry that this is happening.
You hear what you want to hear, okay? The villain was obviously taking a dig at Ezekiel Elliott because they've had games all year. They played 10 games. He hasn't done a damn thing. This is the first game he showed up in against the Vikings. And what do I hear from all the Cowboy fans? Oh, we're going to take the division. Here we come. We back. Shut up. Cowboys still stink. Reality is you got no defense, you got no offensive line, you got no quarterback. Your coach is a loser. You're still the worst team in the league. Get over it.
How about them cowgirls?
Exactly.
Did you not hear him praising them?
I gotta say though, I think the smart money is with Dallas this week. It's a home game. You got the bad blood of Bostic knocking Andy Dalton the hell out. Cowboys want a little get back. The teams aren't that far apart because we know that NFC East, is pretty much 4 mediocre teams, mediocre to bad teams, kind of trading the lead every other week or so. But I think Dallas does get this win, man. I think Zeke runs well. Andy kind of throws off of that. And then on the other side, Alex Smith's leg is a Tootsie Roll. I don't know if that thing is going to stay there, stay stable. Like Antonio Gibson, I like the kid, the young running back. I like him. Of course, Terry McLaurin is for real. But Alex, he's dink and dunk man. He's not going to throw it deep to Terry. So I don't know. Their DBs are really bad. Their front seven's good, but their DBs are bad. So I don't know, man. I think I'm leaning more towards Dallas. But both of these teams suck.
Listen, I'm going to tell you how bad it is in the NFC East if you people aren't watching this. All of them have 3 wins on the season.
What it is?
Listen, all of them have 3 wins on the season. They have 3 wins on the season tied, and it's almost December. Like 3 wins. Like, so I really like and I don't want to be rude, Sports City, but I'm gonna say it like this. A lot of people are saying, oh, it's gonna be 6 wins that win the division, 7 wins win the division. I'm like, nah. Somebody gonna storm out of this and get 8 wins, maybe. Yo, it is really gonna be under 500 for whoever wins the division, and it may be a 6-win or 7-win team. It's gonna be something like that. That's if these guys don't start losing and somebody push for the 4th or 5th win and just get to January 1st struggling, and then whoever wins the division, right? They end up with a home game in the playoffs. Tell me how unfair that is. This is absolute craziness. Eric, your thoughts on this matchup? The Washington football team, last time Dallas met, they beat them by 22 points, I'm thinking, and held Dallas to a field goal. But just like Nas said, there's a lot of heightened emergency from what happened to Andy Dalton in the last game, and Powell left a bitter taste in a lot of people's mouths on the way Dallas lost that game in that nature to the Washington football team.
I think it's going to be a great rivalry game. We're going to see a lot of bad blood out there, but I'm also going with the villain here. Washington's front seven on D is a lot better. They're going to shut down Ezekiel Elliott, Alex Smith. They finally got a consistent quarterback now. Alex Smith is a proven winner, even though people may call him a game manager. But him and Terry McLaurin are going to go off, and it's going to be a good Thanksgiving for the Washington football team. And I'm thinking that it's going to be Washington and New York coming out of this division as the NFC least champions. So it's my thought.
Yeah, I mean, Eric, I think the Giants are the best team in this division. I'm not saying that as a Giants fan. I think defensively, they have the best defense in this division. And that's not saying a lot, but I think the Giants have the best defense. And quarterback-wise, Carson Wentz looks completely lost. I don't know what his problem is. This guy has regressed so much. I think he is done in Philly. The only reason he's not a starter is because Julian he's not ready. He's just not ready. I think he would have been in there already. He looked awful against the Browns. I'll trust Danny Jones ahead of Carson Wentz. So, and then coaching wise, I think Judge is getting better every week. I think Peterson looks lost. So, Giants, I think, are the best team in this division. Now, they got a little tougher schedule, but I think they're the best team.
Look at all of this biasness and the love that Barry done pushed in. You know what I think Barry did? If you guys ever seen The Matrix and Agent Smith, he put his fingers in people's chest, and he turned arrogant to one of them damn agents with the black suit and the black glasses. I do not like what you're trying to do to this guy. Leave him alone. He has nothing to do with this madness.
It's the truth. Nobody, rewind the tape.
I agree. Daniel Jones is the best quarterback in that division. I agree.
He agrees. He agrees. Stop this. This is not good for the people. We don't deserve.
Terrible. Yeah,
Thank you, Nas. Thank you, Nas. I feel like
he's the best quarterback in this division. He's the best quarterback in the NFC East.
Nas, you be Morpheus, right? And I'll be Neo. You be Morpheus and I'll be Neo, and we deal with agents going crazy right now.
Yeah, Carson Wentz is the best quarterback in that division, even though he hasn't played like it this year.
Oh, you're on glue, bro. You're on glue.
No, he probably is the most talented quarterback in the division, Nas, but he's playing like absolute trash right now. If you had to pick one quarterback to save your life, if you had to put your house up on against the quarterback right now, and they said you got to bet your house on one of these quarterbacks, who would you put on right now?
Daniel Jones.
Sadly,
thank you.
I'd have to go to Carson Wentz, man.
Oh, come on.
Oh, wow.
Really?
You're losing your house, bro.
The interception he threw against the Browns last week was inexcusable in the red zone. Inexcusable. This guy has regressed so much in this league for being a guy that was his fourth, fifth year in the league. It's pathetic. This guy is trash. The only reason he's not starting is because Julian is not ready.
They owe him a lot of money, so they're going to give him time. No. And he has regressed.
He shouldn't even
be
a starter in this league.
Daniel Jones has never dressed. He ain't programmed. He dressed or anything.
No, you would say he's never progressed. He's just gress, right? Gress is like even, right? So regress, progress, just gress, right?
I can't even get it, man. It's just an incomplete. It's like, okay, this guy is limited. He can run, but he won't run enough. He doesn't have a big arm. Isn't accurate short. Like, what do we actually have here?
Listen, I could not put my money on Carson Wentz.
I tried to tell him I tried to say Danny Jones is doing his thing. He didn't want to. He tried to tell me to stop Nas before you got here. You had to hear how he was trying to tell me, don't say this, that, and the third, and you got to hear how he's preaching right now. These people are selling false hope, man. This is what I'm trying to tell you. Listen, Sports City, I deal with a lot, man. You don't know, sometimes when I'm finished with the show dealing with Barry, I put an ice pack on my forehead just to put up with this madness. I'm telling you, this is.
Hey, man, I would want to see Daniel Jones running an offense like Lamar. If you put Daniel in something like that, then I'd be interested. But in a regular offense, I don't want to see that guy.
Right. Hey, well, no, don't say that. Barry likes it. Barry likes it, and he has them in first place, or at least close to first place. So they're doing.
They have to be. TT, come on, brother. Like seriously, Carson Wentz is playing so bad right now. And who do they play this week? Who do they play?
The Eagles play. Hold on, let me pull up this schedule. I'm getting there. The Eagles have. They
play the Seahawks. Come on, you think they're going even if they're at home, that's a loss. They're gonna lose again. Carson Wentz looked so bad. He's looked so bad in the last month. It's like every week he's gotten worse. Like he's like, oh, you don't think I can get worse? Oh, hold my beer. Those are crazy looking pick against the Browns. I would never pick this guy as the best quarterback in this division right now. There's no way. Even though I don't think Danny Jones can hold a candle with half of the quarterbacks in this league, I would take him over any quarterback in this division right now.
Be careful. That's a get well game. The Seattle defense is one of the worst in the league. Be careful.
Yeah, the only one that's going to get well is that Seattle defense and Russell Wilson, because that Eagle team is pathetic. Pathetic. They only do one thing right, is run the ball with Miles Sanders, and they don't give him the ball. They don't give him the ball. Oh my God. Ugh.
Here it is. Carson Wentz has thrown 14 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, and he's got a 73 quarterback rating. That is no way, not even close to the best quarterback. I wouldn't even have this guy starting. They're kicking themselves for letting go of Foles. Foles gelled with that team. They dominated with Foles. I don't know what they were thinking with going with Wentz, who was injury-prone in the first place, and getting rid of the proven winner that won him the Super Bowl.
Yeah, I know both teams are kicking themselves
that won
right
the
now.
Super Bowl. Totally different team that won the Super Bowl than what you're looking at now in Philly. That was a lot of talent.
Not too much different.
They're not that anymore. Oh, real different, man. The two tight ends, Alshon Jeffrey as a starter at the time. Defense was loaded, Malcolm Jenkins and company. And the O-line was probably the best in the league at the time. Like, they were loaded. But it didn't last.
Okay,
Carson Wentz has progressively got worse every year. Just like the villain said, this guy is regressing at a horrible rate.
Yeah, he was good last year, but this year he has been terrible, man. This is the worst season he's had, and with the young guy kind of in waiting, like they're going to give Carson the rest of the season, maybe the start of next year. But, yeah, he's going to have to earn that job, man, because he could lose it.
I wouldn't be surprised if he did, guys. This year, I'm telling you, the only reason this year he hasn't lost his starting job is because they basically have said that, guess what? Julian is not ready. He would. You don't think the way he's played the last 4 weeks, if they thought they had a better option sitting on the bench, they would have put him in the game to save their season? Hurts. Hurts not love Hurts.
That extension they get. Yeah, it was that and that extension they gave him because they went all in on him. So
yeah,
he's got to play himself out of
money
that
be
job.
damned. Money be damned. If it's going to cost you the season and your job, you're putting in the guy that's going to win you games, and they don't think Hurts can do it because he ain't ready. Damned if you do, damned if you don't. The money don't mean the thing if you can't get wins. It's all about wins.
I think he's earned the right to kind of play himself out of the job. So I don't think they're doing wrong by him. They're letting him put the tape up. Like, okay, this is on you. You want to stay the franchise guy here, you're going to have to earn it. So I think they're doing right by him.
Okay. Well,
he's just been bad. Like, there's no defending that dude. He's been terrible this year.
Okay. They won't let me close up the kitchen. So I'm trying. These dudes keep going at the last little minute of the show. But we are at the tail end of the show. I need plugs and closeouts from each of you. And I'm going to say this before y'all all get into it. Happy Thanksgiving to each of y'all families. I love each and every last one of y'all. Y'all are my brothers. hopefully I see y'all on Sunday. Some of y'all will be right back here next Wednesday, but I need y'all plugs, closeout, shout-outs as we close the lid on the cookout here at the grill. Nas, I come to you first.
Yeah, man, any Detroit injury news or anything you get from a local beat writer, please send it. I got gambling to do tomorrow for Thanksgiving. Shout out to Thanksgiving. Everybody seeing their people. Zoom or FaceTime, however you're going to see your people. Do your thing. Enjoy your time. But, yeah, man, big gambling day tomorrow, man. Let's get it. Maybe your Detroit Lions can win me some money tomorrow, Ty. That's what I'm trying to scheme for. And the Mike Tyson-Roy Jones fight this weekend, please don't pay for it. Stream that thing. Don't encourage old people to do this. But y'all boys be easy. Enjoy y'all holiday, man. Good talking to y'all.
Oh, my God. You are horrible. And I forgot that. Listen, if this really goes down the way it's supposed to, there is no way Roy Jones is fighting Mike Tyson. There is no way. I feel like Mike Tyson's about to take the slip or slide or something. Something crazy about to happen. Like, if Mike throw them blows like he throw them blows, like, I don't care how many pitter-pat punches Roy throw, Roy should be out of the ring. Like, period. Like,
yeah, but TP, if there's a cut or an injury, the fight's over. It's an exhibition like Rocky IV. This is supposed to be an exhibition. You know, like this
right.
ain't a fight.
Right. If he dies, he dies. Oh man, Nas,
he dies.
Listen, Nas, we will talk. I gotta talk to you after the show or see where your head is at on these two games. I'm feeling a certain way. We gotta talk. And we see that you got me cooking already. We trying to get out of here. You put stuff out there like that, man. Eric, give me a plug, close out, shout out as we close the lid on the grill here at the Cookout.
All right, happy Thanksgiving to all my brothers and their family out there. Hey, I love chopping it up with you guys at the kitchen. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there in the Sports City Nation. Thanks for listening, everybody. Be safe, and we'll see you here back on Sunday.
Barry, you already know how to do it. Plug, close out, shout out. Hopefully y'all put a plate together for me because I'm coming to get it. Now, you too, I need a sweet potato pie out of Atlanta. Send me a sweet potato pie, probably Patti LaBelle's. But, Barry, you already know what to do. Let's get up out of here.
Patti LaBelle. Oh, Lord. Ooh, God, you got my juices flowing. Listen, you know where I'm at. Come see me. I got food. Listen, happy Thanksgiving to everybody. You know, first and foremost, be safe. But if you can, enjoy your family any way possible. Hug the loved ones. Time is short on this great ball of stress we call Earth. You know, the villain, you know, I love having fun with you guys. You know, I give you a hard time, but it's all love. I love doing the show with you guys. I love doing the show with you, TP, my brother. Listen, I'm kind of curious. I'll go halfsies on that Tyson and the Tyson Roy Jones fight if you want.
Listen, I might have to put a three-way. Listen, we might have to get a three-way call in after the show. I might have to set this up so we can see where everybody's head's at.
That's just gonna be hilarious. But listen, happy Thanksgiving, everybody. Stay safe. You know, tune in Sunday. You know, they're always doing their thing, and the Cookout next week. We back at it, talking all things sports. So holla at your villain.
So the next time you hear us, Sports City, I'll probably be in a different light because like the stars and the moon have moved in my season, also in the season of Sports City because we started Sports City right here December 6th a couple of years ago, and in that same week, the stars are in line for me as well. So happy Sagittarius season to everybody out there that's a Sagittarius. That is your boy holding it down. Hopefully Detroit put this thing together. If not, Stafford, I've been saying it for years. You should be able to pull this one off at home, being where you are, or this could actually help turn things around for Houston and put them in position. That Washington-Dallas game, that might be must-see TV too as well. But, again, happy Thanksgiving to everybody out there. Stay safe. They're trying to encourage families to stay distant from each other, so I get it. I understand the importance of it, especially while you're around the elderly and your family. You don't want to get people sick if you can avoid it, so try to do the best that you can, Sports City. But I understand love is love at the end of the day. You already know how this go down. On that note, tell a friend to tell a friend that it's the chef again. And if they don't know, now they know.